Hello everyone, welcome to Chaudhary Data World channel. Today I am here with a new video in Pandas series that is on all filtering techniques whatever there into the Pandas. We'll be watching into this particular video. So let's get started with the video. So before moving ahead with the filtering techniques in Pandas, let me tell you that what I covered yesterday. I have covered the first part of data selection and indexing with Pandas, into which all the methods with which we can select our data, and also we have seen some glimpse of the filtering techniques. That means 3 to 4 methods we have already seen. But why I am covering this again into this video, because all should be gathered up at one video, that all filtering techniques whatever it is into our Pandas we are going to see in this particular video. So also one more thing which I want to cover up, that what learning roadmap we are following. We are following this learning roadmap, into which there is, I have already covered up data import, data exploration, data cleaning. In this data selection and indexing we have already covered up part 1. This is going to be the part 2 of the video, into which all the filtering methods whatever available in the Pandas we are going to understand that. So for very first method we are having is of conditional selection. In this conditional selection you can see that we are having the condition defined, and the condition will be on some particular you may say column name, and then whatever the condition it should be, it will be there in whatever the filtered output will be, it will be into your new data frame. So what it is telling into the comment, that select rows where a specific column meets a condition, that is greater than 30. So whatever is greater than 30, whatever data available into our data frame which is having is greater than 30, we need to filter it out. So this is the way with which we can filter it out. And there is another example in which we are just taking up that is greater than 30 and department is HR. So suppose this is the one example which we want to cover up, that the age should be greater than 30 and also the department should be HR. So both combined condition we can supply it something like this. Then we are having function based selection rows. So let's go into our Jupyter notebook, into which we will see how we can apply conditional selection. So for the conditional selection I will just go back, and here we are having the conditional selection. Into this conditional selection we are using Titanic dataset. Into the Titanic dataset you can get easily this Titanic dataset from any of the website online, that might be Kaggle or somewhere else, from where you can get. Otherwise you can import it from the Seaborn library as well. So we are using Titanic data, and the Titanic data is our data frame, which is the original data frame. Inside that original data frame we are having the age column. So we are filtering out all the ages greater than 30. Also the Titanic data which is having class equals to first. That means only first class with having age greater than 30, passenger's name on the record will be there into your data frame. So this is how we can apply our conditional statement. Correct. Now the second we are having, that is functional based selection of row. So what we are doing, we are defining here the user defined function or the custom function. Why we are doing so? So suppose this condition becomes lengthy, you are having multiple set of condition which is getting applied onto your one column. Definitely if you will write it on the runtime, definitely it is going to be messed up. Even also you will have to rewrite the code wherever that again condition will be used. To make these things modularized, we are using this custom based function. So custom based function is nothing but we are just here supplying our creating our Python function, into which we are using the condition whatever we want to use. In this particular scenario you can see that is greater than 30 and department equals to HR, which was above here. So same thing we are applying with the help of the function. After that, how we will apply this function? We are having a method that is .apply, where we will use, we are using df.lock. If you are not aware that what lock is, you can go to previous video and do check out that concept. That is very easy. It might be confusing if you are following some other articles and all. You might be confused. If you will see this particular video, I have crystal clearly explained all the things of lock, iLock, how it is getting used, how it should be used. All these things I have already covered. So we are using df.lock. Why? Since we are using label based filtration. Label based filtration means we by the column row name we are just filtering it out. Then we are applying this data frame, and on top of that data frame we are using this apply method. Into that method we are supplying our argument, that are two argument. One is custom condition, which is our this function, and this function is taking up the argument that is row, which is automatically getting passed as the data frame. Means whatever row it is into the data frame, it is automatically getting passed over here. We are just calling out this custom condition. And then there is x is equals to 1. Why we are explicitly telling x is equals to 1? X is equals to 1 means that you are telling that it should be applied on row, it should not be applied on column. Why we are using x is equals to 1? Because this is the syntax for which we are when we are dealing up with the row. If it would be the column, then axis will become 0. X is equals to 0. Since it is axis is equals to 1, it is telling you that it should be applied, this custom condition should be applied on row basis. So once we are doing this, we will get the result. We can see over here that we have taken the same example, that is row is greater than 30 and class equals to first, and same we are using Titanic data set, and on Titanic data frame we are applying this particular condition, that is custom condition, with x is equals to 1. Once we are done, we can query it, and your selected passenger will come over here, in which you can see that all the row ages will be greater than 30, you can see over here, and all the classes will be equals to first. Correct? All the class equals to first. Now moving ahead with the another conditional statement we are having, that is function based statement we are having, that is it was for the row, and if we want to apply it for column, we can do so again by the same method, but only the argument will change. Either we can provide the argument as x is equals to 0, or else we can leave it. So because why we can leave it? Because x is equals to 0 is by default Pandas will be understanding. So you need not to supply that x is equals to 0 specifically. Only one more difference it is over here, that since df.lock we are using, so first argument whatever we are passing, it is for row, and if we want to pass it for column, we need to select all row, then comma, then comma, and then for the column thing. So df.apply and then custom condition, that's it. Okay, so we will just jump to our Jupyter notebook, and we can see over here that how we are applying it. We are applying the same way. That means we are filtering, we are taking means a column dot name equals to is, we are using this particular custom function, we are creating some custom function, and then we are applying that custom function over here. So this is how you can apply it on the column basis. Now moving to next one, that is we are having the query method. Now what this query method is, this is very beautiful feature of Pandas, into which what we can do, we can pass the query as a string. We need not to bother for the syntax. We just need to pass it as a string. How we can pass it as a string? What you need to do is, you need to supply the data frame name, dot query, and the conditional expression, whatever the expression you want to supply. So you can see an example over here, that let me just remove it off so that you should not be very much confused. Now you can see that it's very simple, right? Titanic data set, then dot query over it. After that, this particular string, into this string what we are telling, that fare should be less than 50 or equals to 50, and fare should be greater than 50 or equals to 50, and it should also be less than or equals to 100. So the fare, whatever it is in between 50 and 100, should come into the data set. So you can see over here that where here our fare, this is our fare column, and you can check the values it will be into between 50 and 100. So this is how we can supply our condition as a string. We are having few more examples. You can see here that suppose survived equals to 1, we want to put, and then if we want to put again the AND condition, you can apply supply like this. You will, I am just uncommenting so that you can understand it better. So here you can see that sex equals to female and class equals to third. This is supplied as the string format. Once you are executing it, you will get that result same as you are getting over here, correct? Now we are having another method to filter the data set, that is in method. Now this in method is to filter rows where column name contains value from the list. That means whatever rows is there, filter rows where column name contains value from the list. So how is it applied? Let's check out. So here you can see that class to filter. What all class to filter? Because we are having class, right, into our data set. So we need to filter out all the rows which is having value or all the rows which is having value first and then second. So either you can apply it with AND condition, or you can go with this is in method. Is in method will be faster and it will be better to use. Why? Because this is getting passed as the list, and here you can pass it something like this, that Titanic data, and on top of that data we will apply this column. This is the column which we will be using on that data, and then dot is in method, and with dot is in method we will supply only one argument, that is classes to filter. With the argument we are having is this as the list. Fine. So this is how we can apply is in method, and which will be very useful and very easy as well to apply, correct? So once you execute it, you can check out that class will be only be falling into first and second category, not other than that. Now again we are having dot lock with boolean mask. Now what this is? So dot lock with boolean mask is just a fancy term, but it's nothing such confusing. Here you can see that create a boolean mask based on condition. How we are creating the boolean mask? Just we are selecting one column in from the data frame, and just that threshold value. So suppose the user scenario, it may be something like this, that suppose survived mask we are creating, correct? This is the variable we are creating, and in that what we are doing is Titanic data survived column, okay, whatever equals to 1, we are just filtering it out. That survived equals to 1, then just filter it out. So you can check into your result that whatever survived equals to 1, it is there. So it's not something different, but it is named different, since you can use here the numerical part itself, that it should be greater than 1, it should be less than 1, there should be some threshold to be defined over here. So it is right now not acting as a value, it is acting as a threshold over here. So it might be 1.5, but your 1.5, there is no any data in that whole data set, but you can apply it on the basis of whatever threshold value you want to set. Now after that you will just supply Titanic data, that is your data set, and then lock method. Into that lock method you will apply the survived mask. Okay, now as soon as you execute it, you are getting the thresholded values whatever you have passed it over for the survived column. So you can see all the ones are only there. If you will provide here less than 1, definitely what it will give you? It should give you 0. It is giving you 0. So this 1 is not acting as the value over here, which is from the survived column. It is acting as a threshold over here. So whatever values into this, we'll pick out the threshold and we will pass the threshold over here. It will filter on that particular basis. So that was whole about each of our, you may say, data filtering technique into the Pandas, which was the part 2 of our data selection and indexing with Pandas. Tomorrow we will be watching indexing technique for the pandas library, what all indexing are, and how we can use it. So all these things we will be watching into this whole video series. So thank you so much guys for watching out the full video, and hope this video you find it very helpful and informative. If you find this helpful, kindly like to the video, subscribe to the channel. Any confusion, let me know into the comment section. See you in the next class with some other topic. Thanks again.